Welcome back! My name is Matt and this is Hidden Light. And I realized that it had been like 4 months since we did a what we're printing video. At least I think that's what's going on. So that's tragic. So we're gonna do one right now. This is the plastic camera edition. Sparkling. Rather than like fancy cameras and beautiful goodness, I've chosen cheap plastic cameras that I've been using recently, like as my wander around camera. Just stuff it in your back pocket and don't worry about it. So we've got just a couple of prints to kind of show off what these various cameras can do. And then once we're done looking at my pictures, we'll look at yours, which is the much more interesting part. People who have submitted images of prints to our Discord server, we'll take a look at those. And we've got a lot to go through because it's been ages since we did one of these videos. I get distracted, you know? Shit. That's life. So, we'll just jump right in here with the Kodak half frame. Half frame because each picture uses up half a frame of film, so you get 72 photos to a roll instead of 36, which is awesome. I took this one oot and a boot. I've actually been wanting to shoot it for a long time, and I finally got the chance to do it, and it's so cool. It's grainy, and it's not the sharpest camera I've ever used. It's made by Rito, but they brand it as Kodak, and it's fun. So here's a print. These are 10-inch inkjets. So nothing particularly fancy, but when you're shooting a plastic camera, you want to show what it's capable of in terms of contrast, sharpness, whatever. The easiest way to do that would be to do silver gelatin or, of course, inkjets. And inkjets are an awful lot faster and less expensive. So I slammed out a few of these of my favorite recent images on these plastic cameras. So here's one on the old half frame, just making sure it's not too reflection-y. Shot from maybe, I don't know, 10 feet away. You can see the grain on this. It is gnarly. I bumped the contrast just a little bit because it's a cheap plastic lens and it doesn't do contrast very well. This is HP5. So I knew that running a cheap plastic camera with a shitty grainy film stock would be a terrible idea. So I put a good film stock in here. I shot HP5. I would have shot Tri-X if I had it, but I don't, and it's hard to get. So HP5 actually did a good job here. It's grainy, it's crunchy. The highlights kind of bloom in a very pro mist kind of way, which if you're into that is cool. I think it turned out really good. This is the kind of photo that, like this essentially is summer for me. It's my girl and her dog in her truck. We got our paddle boards here, and yeah, that's just summer in a nutshell. Following on that series, boom. With a cheap plastic camera, you don't have to worry about taking it into the water in your board shorts, hanging it on a little lanyard around your neck because it's plastic and weighs nothing. So same game here, same roll of film. Turned out really cool. One of the things I actually do like about this is while you're holding the camera vertically, like this, I mean horizontally, God, what an idiot. You're holding the camera normal, horizontal like this, you're taking a vertical photo because it uses half a frame of film. So I shot an entire roll almost of vertical photos, which is something that never happens. I never shoot verticals. So this was kind of a fun way to play with that to get really good bang for my buck out of the film. They're not crazy sharp, but I do kind of love them regardless. Like these are photos for me. All the time I'm shooting a plastic camera, I'm gonna end up with photos for me. You know, if I end up making like big prints and selling them, awesome. But when I'm using a camera like this, just like when I'm using a DSLR, I'm not generally like making fine art. I'm just making memories. I'm recording memories and having stuff for me, which is, I don't know, fun. So that's the Kodak half frame. Let's see, next on the list. Sorry, I don't have anything in order because my life is the way that it is. If you've been watching videos recently, you may or may not have seen these already. Here is the Rito 22mm ultra wide. surprisingly sharp, actually. It looks really clean, especially when you get far enough away from something. You know, this is like half backlit, I would say, like side half backlit. And it's clean. It looks good. And this is not a good film stock. This was Kentmere 400. This shit is crunchy. And crunchy in like a substantive way. Now, because this is a full frame camera, look how small it is. It's a full frame camera instead of the half frame. The grain's a lot finer, even on a chunky film. But I'm really happy with how these look. Yes, I take lots of photos on my motorcycle. Leave me alone. Foggy morning, love that. Kind of fun. And then this one, which you may or may not have seen in a recent video. I hung out and like worked for this one. Like I stood there and waited and cropped out all the Turons that are over here. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. A little bit of contrast adjustment. And that's basically it. This Rito super wide is fast becoming my favorite plastic camera. Because it's tiny and it fits in your pocket and you don't have to worry about abusing it. And it's reasonably sharp. Not crazy sharp, but reasonably sharp. Sharp enough for the, whatever, $45 or whatever it costs to be like pretty much a no-brainer for me, just dicking around. So, 2 plastic cameras down, 2 to go. These color ones are from the Harman, which is ergonomically superior to the, what is this one? Also Harman. So there's 2 Harmans. One is an auto winder and is sharper and better in most ways. And the other is a vignette like F11 Sufferfest. These were shot on the auto winder, which is called the EZ35. It's got that big, beautiful grain strap. I took this with me a period of time ago to California. And just snaps. You know, I actually had a proper SLR with me. I brought and tested a different camera while I was there. And those photos are sharp and gorgeous, but these are snapshots, and I like them better. Just, I don't know what it is, but there's something to them. Very far from fine art, definitely, but you can see that it renders color really well. It's got a nice fast shutter speed because it froze the fire mostly. I don't know. I like it. Good blues. Can't go wrong. Also from the EZ35. I mean, look at that. Like, yeah, there's some fringing, and yes, it's vignette, and yeah, but it's got character. That's what I would say. It's got character. It's a good looking print. I wouldn't take this one very big without evening out some of the vignette, but, you know, put up on the wall, put up on your fridge, send to your buddy. I don't know. I like it. It's pretty. Good colors. I like your pretty pictures. Alright, so this is the camera. This is the camera. The Harman reusable, which is basically a disposable. It's real vignette. It's not particularly sharp. I put some HP5 and some Kentmere 400 through it. And this is the one that got me into this whole plastic camera thing. There's a thing about disposable cameras. I don't love them. I want to be able to reuse them. That's where this came from. And so I took this on a motorcycle trip in 2000. When was that? I think it was 21. So just a year ago. And really enjoyed what I got out of it. Like, soft and like weird and definitely a vignette. But there's like some areas of sharpness. And it's easy to compose. It's also really easy to take a picture of your finger. Because the way that you hold it, like this, if you're not careful, you do this. Whereas the EZ has its lens in the correct place, so you're not taking pictures of your finger on accident. It's the little things, you know? I definitely got plenty of photos of my finger on this roll. This was kind of a clean one that I liked, and it turned out pretty well. I have a series of other images from this roll. One of the ones that I did in the darkroom video, the darkroom in the bathroom, I shot that on this camera. So, I don't know. Gets me usable results. Here's the last one. Also from this Harman 35 disposable reusable. you can really see the sharpness and the vignette. Exactly how they show up. Feather, sharp, feather, and then vignette and sharpness just like fall off. You get this beautiful center area of the print that looks really good, and then everything else all the way around it just looks like you're shooting on anamorphic lenses or something totally nuts. It is like a 1 or 2 piece plastic lens in this camera. What do you want to? What do you want? You know, it's cheap, it's easy, it's cute. I like it. This pink one is currently my favorite. It just goes into my pocket. You can see because it's all beat up and used and abused. But you just stick it in your pocket and rock and roll and don't worry about it. So those are my images. Let's look at some of yours. I'll pull up the old Discord server over here. Turned up my brightness just a skosh. Let's see, the last video we published was 5/19. Holy moly. So we'll start with the posts on May 20th. Hassel Todd shooting cathedrals somewhere. And it looks like he's doing kind of 2 versions of the print, one with and one without a border. So let's look. Clean borders, right? And then one that shows that he's a master of his craft and did not have to crop after the exposure. Some people like these, some people don't. I do love the Hasselblad notches. As a former Hasselbladist myself, they do look lovely. They're both really clean. I actually like the black border around this one. This one, this statue, she kind of blends a little much for me, but when you include the border like this, it seems like it frames it a little bit better because it's so high key without the border. So I'm here for it. I love that. And also still Hassel Todd, but he shot this on an RB. I love Death Valley. Is that where this is? Yeah, Death Valley. Death Valley's so cool, man. I love hanging out there. Some weirdness here. It looks like you could burn down the edges and not hurt yourself too bad. But the contrast and the sinuous line, and I don't know. It doesn't take a whole lot of imagination for this to be like a nude abstract or something. I don't know. This stuff over here is kind of crazy. It looks like water. Love that. Looks like all silver gelatin, all cold head. Ultra fine extreme 400. Wow. Steve B. Back in action. Hasselblad, Ilford HP5, expired, N-2. He pulled it 2 stops. That's some choices to make right there. Printed on Foamobrome, variant 3, VC fiber base. Look at that. Are you kidding me? Damn. Fucking Steve, why you gotta make us all look bad? That's gorgeous. That's absolutely stunning. Don't need no border around this. Just rock and roll. Absolutely gorgeous. I wouldn't hate like a little catch light, but I also don't think you need it. I like how you get a real feeling going on there. That's really nice. Damn. Damn, he's back again. Olympus OM1, Kodak Gold, RA4 processing. If you've never looked up RA4 processing, you should check it out. It's really terrible. Color printing in the darkroom, it's painful. This looks really good. It's hard to tell with my brightness and stuff, like where the highlight actually lives. I'm sure it's all down from paper white. Definitely a vibe. Very snapshot, very relatable, you know? I love it. I wish there was a little more of the milkshake or Coca-Cola or whatever's going on down here, but I'm here for it. Very fall-y to me, actually. JTAC. Here we go. Rolly IR, 4x5, like a boss. Scanning that, making 11x14 platinum palladiums on Arsh. Oh, Michael Strickland made these, who's a buddy, and he's a badass. Strickland does great work. So there's the raw print with the hippie borders. Sorry, brush stroke borders. Happy borders is what we call them here in the lab when we're just talking amongst ourselves. And then there it is all framed up. Looks like you got at least AR glass on it. Love that. Man, framing makes such a difference. To go from this to that. Look how the contrast appears to change based on the iPhone photo of what that looks like. That's crazy. I'm sure it's just the way that the phone is treating the white and the white rather than all these darker tones that it has to deal with, but still, gorgeous. Good job getting a print made. Good job, Michael, for making the print. It's gorgeous. Jordan Foster. Looks like these were made here. Let's see, so that's going to be... Are these contacts? They are contacts, so they're probably smallish film contacted. Looks gorgeous. Love the contrast. Just that big, beautiful, beautifulness. Gorgeous highlights up front. Killer depth. I'd love to see this printed like big and see what this does. That's wow. This one. Yeah. I remember seeing this. This is punchy. This is snappy. I like this. I wonder if there was a burn in this sky at all, or if you just left it. It's gorgeous either way. If there was like clouds back here, dude, that would be it. You got to order those clouds in advance. Jordan Foster again. Step wedges with suffering of a chemical nature. Bend there, and then the final print. Looks like half border, half not border. What is this? First darkroom print. I don't know what process it is. Probably silver gelatin, look based on the paper. Looks cool. Nice tones. Massive tones. Massive tones. SHB photo. What is this? I'll bet you that's piezography. I'll bet that's piezography. Oh wait, he says digital file, D850, Lightroom, hot press, K6. So that is piezography, K6 on an Epson printer. Warm and kind of low contrast, so you're definitely on a matte finish. Looks beautiful. I almost want to rotate it 90 degrees in my head, but I can't figure out how that would work. It's cool. He's got the carbon tone piezography ink set, which is cool. Eric Johnson. Blah, blah, blah. Reasonably 16 by 20, printed from 4 by 5, matte finish. I think this is a digital print. Yeah, it is. It's so cool in person. He brought it in and had us frame it. It looks really good. Like full detail throughout the entire image. It's real classy. He even kept his notch and rebate and the dots where we hanged the film to dry. Hanged? Hung? Hanged. Hung. Hung the film to dry, and then, but if you hang someone by the neck until dead, they were hanged. Yeah, I know. What a weird world we live in. The dumb shit that I think I know. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments down below. Another carbon ink print, a little bit more PZZZ zeography. God, I love skies in piezography. They're so good. And this little like tree branch doing its thing up here, like really balances out the darkness that you've got and the reflections down here. Love it. Love it. Let's say 2 versions, same digital negative, cleaner brushed border, 8 by 8 inches on 11 by 15 arch, 20% platinum. Developed at 140 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a warm fucking developer, dude. Good for you. Wow, that's like extra relevant right now, considering that, you know, the Queen just died. Check it out. So with and without. On this one, I'd probably go with no border, honestly. Like, okay, yes, the border shows you it was a platinum print. Ooh, ah. But it's so clean without it. You know, put like a little signature in pencil down here. Boom, done. Love it. We're cruising. We're up to August now. Or July. I don't know what numbers are. Andy Orr's 20 by 6.5 inch platinum print. Wee. Wow. Nice like partial coat thing going on here. I'm here for that. I kind of dig it. The partial coat thing, like if you don't coat beyond the image area, your image has like a brushstroke border on the inside rather than the outside. I love it. This is gorgeous. I wish this was a horse right here. But, you know, that's my life. Osprey documentation, digital camera, platinum toned calotype, which is a silver process, if I'm not mistaken. And then platinum toning it will help increase its archivability. It's basically the same process start to finish, but if you're doing a calotype, you could do it for like 1/100th the cost of doing platinum. And then you tone it. I think you can reuse the toner too, so that's nice. Love that. Good clouds. Little buddies hanging out. Caw. As it land down. Gold toned calotype. So again, calotype, inexpensive process. Cool paper texture. Look at this. I wonder if this is artifacting from Discord, sucking on the giant D's. Or if that's like paper texture. Either way, gorgeous. Love the tones. Very platinum-y. Without having to be platinum-y. Look at all the words. Everyone talking about words. The Film Phoenix. That does not look like a print. Thank you, but go away. The Film Phoenix. That could be a print based on dodges over here. But I don't know if it is. If that's a print, post it again. I'm going to look at it. That looks like a digital file, though. Here's a print. SHB photo, pisography. Yeah, look at that. Like, you got a good black, but you got great detail all the way through the highlights. Oh. Oh. Mwah. Beautiful. As it land down. Calotype on HPR. Hahnemühle Platinum Rag. See, the problem I have with Hahnemühle is there's a texture to it, and sometimes it's easier to see it when you digitize a print that you've just made. Oh, there's a texture to HPR that I don't love, whereas Arch doesn't seem to have that problem. The blacks on this are nice and bright because it's a hand-coded process. I don't know. This looks like it's frickin' really old, which is kind of the point, right? I'm here for it. I like it. Almost done. We're getting close. Pisography K6 Carbon. Ooh, look how purple that looks. I don't know about your monitor, and I bet he's got full detail through the wall too. Even though, like, if you did this in an inkjet, it would go paper white. That looks really good. You want like a little kid like poking its head out of this frickin' thing. That's cool. Like superior paddle boards, Palladium toned calotype on Revere. Oh, dude, that is very Edward S. Curtis, and that is a compliment for sure. I think a lot of us have seen images by Curtis where you've got Native Americans in their canoes and he posed them and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, ethical considerations aside, they're gorgeous. This, you probably didn't pose them and you're not like trying to say things about Native Americans. They're just homies on paddleboards. I love it. I want to be there doing that. That's gorgeous. I'm here for the Palladium tone calotype. It's got to look I don't see the weird texture thing in this that I saw on the HPR, and that could just be because I'm biased and I hate Hahnemühle. AO sold this bad boy to somebody, got it all framed up. Looks like, did you sign the mat, AO? That's cool. Looks gorgeous. Looks like a walnut frame, double matte, black then cream. Crushing it. Roger Applegate. With this image, I can see where you're going with the color. I'd love to see this in platinum though. I know Roger prints platinum. This is like a no-brainer to me. Like, give me all the texture, all the tones, but platinum. Do it, Roger, do it. It's gonna be gorgeous. Last one. Shot with Digital Olympus. Bane 25 doesn't tell us what kind of print it is, but check that out. Deckled edges, probably an inkjet of some variety. Wow. Crazy. The borders on this are totally bonkers. Honkers? Because those are whatever, geese or swans or something. Get it? Sorry. Anyway, thanks to everybody who is posting beautifulness to the Discord. Keep it up. Hopefully it won't be another frickin' 4 months before we do another one of these, because I really enjoy it. Gives me an excuse to make my own prints. Even when they're not fancy handmade prints. You know, sometimes you just gotta do inkjets. That's all I got. See you in the next one.